The Zeekr X marks the debut of this ambitious Chinese premium auto brand in Australia, and it's making quite an entrance. Built on a solid foundation, this compact luxury crossover shares its platform with small electric SUVs like the Volvo EX30 and Smart #1, but it sets itself apart with distinctive design and a choice of two variants. With bold, eye-catching looks, the Zeekr X is a standout, not just among its platform siblings, but across the entire Australian market. Step inside, and you'll find an interior that's pure indulgence, offering plush materials and a striking sense of luxury that's hard to ignore. However, this EV isn't entering an empty field. It's competing in a crowded price bracket with a plethora of other electric vehicle options. So, is the Zeekr X the one for you? That decision may come down to an $8,000 difference between the two model grades. The range-topping all-wheel drive variant doesn't just pack an extra motor with significantly more power and torque, it also comes loaded with additional standard features, some of which are optional extras on the base model, along with a few exclusive perks. Curious to see if it's worth the splurge? Keep reading to find out. The Zeekr X interior offers a variety of color options to suit different tastes. The standard charcoal black and stone gray combo is sleek and stylish, but for those who want a more luxurious touch, you can upgrade to the midnight blue and polar white scheme or go all out with the ultra-premium mulberry and rose finish for an extra $500. Having these choices already gives the Zeekr X an edge over competitors that limit you to one or two interior options. Plus, the cabin materials are top-notch, with a high-quality feel that adds to its premium vibe. That said, the rose gold accents scattered throughout the cabin might divide opinions. They certainly make a statement and ensure this isn't another monotonous black-on-black interior, which is a refreshing change I personally appreciate. The centerpiece of the cabin is the striking touchscreen media system, which takes pride of place in the center of the dashboard. Complementing it is a uniquely designed, square-cular steering wheel that adds to the modern aesthetic. Adding to the atmosphere is an ambient light strip that runs across the dashboard, with customizable colors to match your mood. The door panels also feature a creative block-like ambient lighting design resembling a cityscape, adding a layer of sophistication. Despite these bold design choices, the overall cabin layout remains minimalist. There are no physical buttons below the screen, only electric window switches on the doors, and cleverly placed door-open buttons at the top of the door panels, with manual releases tucked discreetly in the pockets below. Even the mirror controls are integrated into the touchscreen. The Zeekr X's cabin design blends bold creativity with streamlined simplicity, creating a space that feels both innovative and inviting. The touchscreen in the Zeekr X is a sophisticated piece of technology, packed with menus and features. While it may seem overwhelming at first, it doesn't take long to get the hang of it. Within a few hours, you'll be navigating with ease. A helpful static menu bar at the bottom of the screen provides quick access to essential functions like climate controls, home, music, seat adjustments, and more. However, I did encounter some issues with the wireless Apple CarPlay. It didn't work with my phone or my partner's during testing. While I'm chalking it up to teething problems, it's worth noting that any software glitches could likely be fixed with an over-the-air update from the brand. Interestingly, the car lacks a traditional volume dial. Instead, you can adjust the volume through a menu or use voice commands to make changes, a system that's surprisingly intuitive and reflects how many drivers interact with their vehicles in Zeekr's home market of China. The voice assistant supports a wide range of commands, making it a versatile tool for drivers. The steering wheel also hides some clever controls. On the right, there's a multifunctional volume controller that can also interact with the driver information screen. This includes quick adjustments for fan speed and temperature, so you don't have to rely solely on the main screen. On the left, a button is dedicated to cruise control adjustments. Speaking of cruise control, the system works similarly to Tesla's. A single tap down on the shifter stalk activates adaptive cruise control, while a double tap engages pilot assist. These thoughtful touches make the driving experience feel modern and streamlined. I strongly recommend spending some time getting familiar with the Zeekr X's controls. Just as I was starting to feel confident with everything, it was time to return the car. Thankfully, there's a handy drop-down menu when you start the car that makes it easier to adjust key settings. That said, some features can be frustrating, like the driver monitoring camera, which reactivates every start, and the lane keeping assist, along with the speed sign recognition and warning system. If you're not a fan of overly attentive safety systems, this could get on your nerves. Now, let's talk about comfort and convenience. The top-spec model delivers heated and ventilated front seats wrapped in deluxe leather, with good adjustability and memory settings that save to your profile. The rear seats are surprisingly spacious for a car of this size, offering more legroom than the related Volvo EX30 thanks to the Zeekr's longer wheelbase. At 6 feet 0 inches, 182 centimeters, I had plenty of room to sit behind my own driving position with space to spare, plus decent foot and headroom. While seating 3 adults across the bench might be tight, 2 passengers will be comfortable. For families, there are 2 ISOFIX points and 3 top tethers, along with directional air vents mounted on the B-pillars, though the airflow was a bit underwhelming during scorching summer days. Speaking of hot days, the big glass roof may be stylish, but it's a deal breaker for some. My partner immediately ruled it out because there's no shade to block the sun. Testing the car in 40 degrees Celsius heat, with the cabin reaching a staggering 51 degrees Celsius in the car park, the lack of a sunshade became painfully evident. While the Zeekr X does feature an active cabin temperature control system to keep the interior below 40 degrees Celsius, I discovered this function too late, after enduring a sweltering cabin during errands with my daughter. The air conditioning struggled to cool the space down quickly, so be mindful if you live in hot climates. Rear seat amenities include a single USB-C port cleverly hidden under the middle seat, bottle holders in the doors, soft elbow pads, and a fold-down armrest with cup holders. There are also stylish triangular map pockets in the seat backs, though they're not the most practical for holding items. In short, the Zeekr X offers plenty of comfort and thoughtful design features, but its heat management and persistent safety systems might give you pause, depending on your priorities. The Zeekr X's boot offers a practical setup, with a button near the Zeekr badge to open the hatch. There's a decent amount of space in the cargo area with 362 liters of capacity, reasonable for a compact car. However, if you're looking for more room, you might want to hold out for the larger Zeekr 7X electric SUV, which is on the way. For added versatility, the rear seats fold down to expand the cargo space. However, there's no spare wheel, just a tire repair kit. On the bright side, there are a couple of bag hooks in the back, which is always a handy touch. Up front, there's also a frunk designed for cable storage, complete with a custom-made bag to keep things organized. That said, accessing it is a bit old school. You still need to use the 2-step bonnet lever, as it can't be opened via the key fob or touchscreen. Now, let's talk about the quirky key situation. Zeekr has opted for a small square key with 4 controls: lock, unlock, boot, and auto park, located on each quadrant. While compact, it's easy to lose and even easier to confuse, especially in low lighting when you can't see what you're pressing. To make matters worse, there's no way to attach it to a key ring, which feels like a major oversight. Between the smart storage solutions and the somewhat impractical key design, the Zeekr X strikes an interesting balance of convenience and quirkiness. The Zeekr X offers 2 distinct powertrain options, and the difference in performance and output between them is significant. If you can justify the additional cost, upgrading to the AWD variant feels like a smart choice for those seeking more power and capability. That said, the real-world performance doesn't quite live up to the on-paper claims. At full charge, 99%, the car initially displayed an estimated 400 kilometers of range. However, with soaring temperatures during my test week, the air conditioning seemed to drain the battery faster than expected. Over more than 400 kilometers of mixed driving conditions, I couldn't quite hit the official energy consumption figures. Instead, I averaged 19.2 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers, a bit higher than anticipated. The range estimation was also somewhat optimistic. Despite an indicated 400 kilometers of range, I only managed to cover around 320 kilometers. While the performance and driving experience are impressive, it's worth keeping in mind that real-world factors, like climate and driving conditions, can impact the Zeekr X's range.